everybody, and welcome to Talk with Queen Tia. My name is Queen Tia, if you haven't guessed it already, and today I'm going to be giving you guys videos about the 5 pros and cons to dating in Hawaii. Now, this is going to be uniquely tailored to my experience as a deep melanated, kinky, natural hair, dark-skinned Black woman. So be prepared for that. But before we get started with that, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and spank that subscribe button. Really just spank it and show it who's boss. And go ahead and spank the like button while you're at it too. So let's go ahead and get started. So what you need to know is that I lived in Hawaii for about a year. I moved there kind of on a whim. I just found myself in a situation where my lease was up at one place and I didn't have enough money at the time. The market in Colorado just was so crazy. I just did not have enough money for the new down deposit and first month's rent that the apartments was. I mean, I went from paying like $800 for my one bedroom to like $1,200, $1,300 for that one bedroom. So yeah, things got really high really quickly. And so I found myself without a place to stay. So I was originally born in Hawaii, and so I have been there a few times over the years. So it wasn't like I was just going there on a whim and I had never been there before and I didn't know anything about the islands. However, this is the first time that I was going as to live there. Normally I'm just going back to visit, and so I never really have time to date and mingle there when I go back to visit. So with me living there, I really got to experience Hawaii's dating scene. So yeah, let's get started. So number one pro, there are a lot of single men in Hawaii. There are a lot of single guys in Hawaii. There's like about 450K roughly of the number of men who live in Hawaii, and of that I think they said about 27% of that number are single, or at least they put on the 2018 census that they were living at home by themselves. So that could mean that they were single. However, that could also mean that they have a girlfriend, but they ain't married, and that's all that matters. So there are a lot of single men in Hawaii. They're everywhere. Especially if you're on the island of Oahu. Like, there's a lot of people. If you're on the island of Oahu and you're living in the Honolulu area, like where Waikiki is, there is a lot of people. It's very heavily populated, so you're bound to run into a lot of single men. Like, just download the Tinder app and there will be single men all around you. You could literally have a date for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you wanted to. That's just the large amount of men that are there, and a lot of them are single. Now, the number one con. Now, for the cons, I have that most of those men, although there's a lot of single men there, a lot of them won't be there for longer than 2 years. So in Hawaii, there's like a turnover of 2 years. 2 years is how long the average person stays when they move there. Like, I'm a clear example. I moved there, I stayed there for a year, and now I'm back on the mainlands. Most people go to Hawaii and only stay there for about 2 years or less, and then they return back to the mainland or to their home country or to wherever they're from. This is really challenging when you're dating, especially if you're a local or you live there, because you have to be really mindful of the men that you're meeting or the woman that you're meeting, if that's what you're into, because a lot of them will not be there for a long time. They'll just be there for a good time. They'll be there to date while they're on vacation or while they're living there, but you really have to be cautious about who you let in, because you'll find that the people that you connect with will be leaving the island soon. And that goes for any relationships that you have, both romantic and personal. There was times when I was living there that I would have all these friends, and then 30 days later have no friends, and I'm like, where'd all those people go that I met? And it's really because most of them were only there for a couple months, a year, or for a weekend, and I just didn't pay attention to that. And I grew really fond to these people and hanging out with them and doing activities with them. And then I look up like, oh man, I don't have those friends to do those activities with anymore. Dang. But I can hang out by myself, so it doesn't really ever bother me. But definitely, if you're looking for a serious relationship and you're living in Hawaii, you definitely have to consider how long that person is going to be there, if they're there for a long time or if they're there for a good time, okay? So do keep that in mind. But that takes us right into my number 2 pro, which is that it's very diverse. Like, if you're a woman who's open to dating multiple races, if you're a Black woman and you're open to dating all races, you can find something of every race there. You can find Black men, white men, Asian men. You can find, of course, Hawaiian men. If you want to get into the specifics of countries, you can find Scottish, Australian, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Filipino, a variety of African, Polynesian, Micronesian. Like, there is a large number of people on the island of Oahu, and they're all from different backgrounds, all from different cultures, all from different cultures, and all from different countries. And there's various different languages that is spoken on the island of Oahu. So there is a lot of diversity if you are open to that type of thing. But that does take me to my con, which is, if you are a Black woman and you primarily date Black men, there are not a lot of Black men in Hawaii. If you're looking for Black men exclusively, and you're going out to a nightclub, you want to check out maybe Play Bar. If you go and play, there's a lot of Black men there. I believe Club Pure, if I remember. There's a few ones. I'm going to do a separate video about the nightlife in Hawaii, and then I'm going to put all that in there because, yeah, there's some places where you can go. Definitely if you live in, like, the Pearl City area. The Pearl City area is a military area. So because it's the military, there's a lot more Black people in that area. So if you're looking for, Black people, familiarity, Pearl City is probably going to be your best bet, just because there's going to be a large concentration of Black people there, mainly from the mainlands, because they moved there due to military. Now, if you are in, like, the Waikiki area, there are going to be Black men there because there's Black people who tour the country. There's tourists, and then there's Black people who also live in Hawaii. It's just not going to be as much, so you might have to really look. And that also that's also a good part of it. It's a lot of fun to also, like, to have to go and look, because you go on all of these different adventures, which brings me to my pro number 3, which is there's a lot of adventures. The best part about it is, like, if you meet a guy and you want to go on a date, there are so many different things to do on a date. You don't have to just go to a movies. You don't have to just go out to eat. You can go hiking. You can go snorkeling. You can go scuba diving. You can go waterfall jumping, parasailing, surfing, kayaking. You can do so many different things on the island of Oahu as a date that are so fun and so unique and so original. But even still, if you just went to the movies, like I lived there. I'm big into anime. I love anime. And because Hawaii is so close in proximities to Japan, a lot of the anime feature movies that are out there in theaters that won't necessarily make it to the mainland will be in the Hawaiian theaters. So one of the guys that I went on a date with, our first date, he took me to see Dragon Ball Super: The Legend of Barley. I was like a kid in a candy store. Let me tell you, when we walked in there and Dragon Ball Z was playing on this large screen, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in a theater watching Dragon Ball Z. Like, I never thought this day was gonna happen. Those days of getting off the school bus and rushing back to my grandma's house to make it there at 4 o'clock on the dot so I could turn the Cartoon Network and watch Dragon Ball Z. I never in a million years thought that there would be a time that I could go to the movies and watch Dragon Ball Z. So I am super stoked about that. I was super stoked when he told me that was where we were going for our first date. So for me, that was like a great time. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. And he just happened to be a guy who's really into movies, and I was a girl who's really into movies. So it worked that a lot of our dates were movies, but they weren't like cheesy romance movies or like super scary murders. Although I am a big horror fan genre. I love horror movies. However, it was really nice to just have somebody to go to the movies and anime out. So there are a lot of different things for you to do for a day on this island. Now, my third con, I need to say, I have to preference this by saying that this does depend on your attractability level, I'm gonna be honest. But the next one is colorism and anti-blackness. That is a con here on the island because it still is something that, as a dark-skinned woman, you will deal with on the island. When I went, I said that if you were looking for black men, you should go to Club Play. However, I will acknowledge that the few times I went in Club Play, none of the black men spoke to me. None of them danced with me. None of them offered to buy me a drink. Most of them didn't even acknowledge that I was there. Besides the black guys that I came with, because I made some black friends and they came with me, and so of course they were with me and they were dancing with me and we were chilling. But the other black men who were there, they didn't speak to me. And it's not like it was because, oh, she's here with the black guy, so that must be her boyfriend. No, I was with like a group of people. There was like 10 of us and we all went out. And, there was a good number of girls, a good number of guys. So we weren't like, we were like jointed at the hip. Oh, that must be her boyfriend. No, it was clear that I was there with them, but I was by myself. And yeah, nothing. But and there were other black women there, same for them. Like, besides the black women who came there with their boyfriends, a lot of them who were there, gorgeous, beautiful black women. Really, these weren't ugly, unattractive black women, but as far as society standards, they weren't the most desirable girl in our community. But they were still beautiful, still fun, still look great. When black women step out, they always gonna give you the looks. They always gonna, kill you with the hair, kill you with the dress, kill you with the shoes. Make sure they looking snatched and the edges is on slick or on fleek or whatever these kids are saying nowadays. I don't be knowing what they be talking about. But black women be going out serving the looks whenever they hit the club. So these black women were in there looking great. And I made sure to go out of my way and talk to them and introduce them and hang out with them. But a lot of the other black men that were in the vicinity didn't even acknowledge them. Didn't even acknowledge us because I'm a part of them. They were too busy checking for the Asian girls that were in there, the white girls that were in there, and the Hawaiian girls that were in there. They were not checking for any of the black girls in there. So you will experience that. I will acknowledge that that's in that type of setting. So it doesn't surprise me that on an island that's predominantly Asian, predominantly Hawaiian, predominantly non-black, that when I go out to a club that's predominantly non-black, the few black men that are in there are only trying to get with the non-black women. Like, it doesn't surprise me none. And this was a young club. So this was like, Club Play is like 18 and up. Like, so the boys that were in there were very young. They're very immature. So, if you look at how the boys who are in the ages of 18 to 23 behave and what the shit that they say, you will understand why those black women weren't being acknowledged in that space. So yeah, you will deal with that on the island. You may also run across Polynesian people not being as comfortable with you being in a relationship with another Polynesian person. And I would love to say it was just Polynesians, but I experienced this with a Korean woman. Like, I was on a date with one of my friends and he was Polynesian, he's a local, and this Korean woman, she walked up to us and she literally asked him why you're not with your own kind. She literally was like, oh, Hawaiian woman beautiful, Hawaiian woman amazing, Hawaiian woman big, but you know Hawaiian woman. You know with Hawaiian woman. You need to be with Hawaiian woman. We need more Hawaiian babies. You need to be with Hawaiian woman. Yeah.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's what this Korean woman said. And she didn't have no shame about it. And I wasn't mad at her. Like, I was a little bit, because I was like, you not even Polynesian. Like, how you gonna come and tell him that he need to be dating his own race when you not even the race he is? You need to be minding your business. And why you over here telling him that he need to be dating his own kind? Like, who are you to tell him that when this is his island, he can do what he wants on his island? Like, he could literally turn around and tell you, like, yeah, you need to go back to Korea. You need to go back to your own country. Like, you need to get off my island. You need to not be owning my land. This isn't your... He could have literally went there with her if he wanted to, but he didn't. And, like, it's always... If you've been a person who's dated interracially, it's really telling about how the person you're dating responds to racism and to those moments of prejudice. And it was so sweet because he's such a nice guy. He's such a good guy, such a sweet and generous and kind soul. He really takes that aloha spirit to heart. And he did not, it went way over his head that what she was trying to tell him is like, why are you with this black woman? You need to be with your own kind. This is what she was telling him, and it just went right over his head. He did not even realize that this is what this woman was saying to him. So do keep that in mind. I would love to tell you that you won't experience colorism. You won't experience anti-blackness. You absolutely will. 100%. I'm so sorry. I keep looking over here because I have my screen over here, my monitor, and messages keep popping up. So it keeps catching my eye and I keep looking over trying to read it and not make it obvious that I'm looking away from the camera. Anyways. Number 4 is what I was just talking about, the aloha spirit. Because of the aloha spirit, even though I just said you will deal with colorism, you will deal with racism, you will deal with texturism, like you will still deal with those things. Like Hawaii is still America, so it's like it's still America, and there's not too many places around the world that we can go where we won't experience colorism, we won't experience texturism, as evident with what's happening in China right now. Anyway, so back to what I was talking about as far as my friend having the aloha spirit. The aloha spirit is really just the way that the locals and the Hawaiians live. Like, they're all about taking it easy, taking your time, not rushing, helping others, being courteous to your neighbors. And they really do embody this. They really do. And so because of that, the dating experience that I had with the men from the island, even the ones who were from the mainland who were living in the island, was phenomenal. I was treated with such profound respect, such kindness and generosity. A lot of these men have gone on to be great friends of mine. Even though like we were started out romantic and I ended up leaving, like we still became great friends. A lot of the guys who I went on date with and I wasn't really attracted to in that way, are still really good friends with me today. I still talk to them. They still reach out to me. That hasn't been the case always on the mainland, as women, could probably attest that sometimes when you tell these guys like, oh, I'm not interested, they like just cut you off, stop talking to you, or they get really nasty with you and want to argue with you about it. Or even after they agree to just be friends, they're being your friend, but they're still doing it in a way that they hope that maybe you'll change your mind. And so in Hawaii, it was like really the first time that I had a string of dating experiences that were so good. The dating experiences that I were having with the men were so great that I couldn't enter into a relationship with anybody. It was the first time that I was dating and I had like multiple men who I thought were fantastic, who were smart, who were generous, who were supporting, who was all of that in a bag of chips. And I just couldn't pick one. On top of that, I had a lot going on. I was looking for a house, I was looking for a job, I had just moved there, I wasn't sure if I was staying. There's a lot going on. So that's also why I didn't enter into any relationships. But another big part of it was because I had a lot of options and a lot of them treated me really, really well. And I think that's a large part to do with the aloha spirit that the island maintains. Now, 4 is the con that I have. Hawaii is an island. It's hot in Hawaii a lot, so a lot of the women are dressed in little to no clothing. And the men. A lot of the people on the island do not wear a lot of clothes. There's a lot of beach shorts or, bikini tops, no tops, not for women, but like a lot of the guys walk around topless. with no shirts on, chest out, and like beach shorts. A lot of the girls will walk around in like booty shorts and a bikini top, or just in a bikini. Will just walk around in a bikini, like just go to the store in a bikini, be in the grocery store in a bikini, go to the movies and be in a bikini. Like they'll do that just because, well, not the movies, because it'd be too damn cold in the movie theaters. But you get my point. A lot of people wear little to no clothing. So this creates a higher standard as far as body. So if you're not a woman who is confident in your body, or you don't feel attractive, or you don't like your weight, you will become increasingly insecure living in Hawaii, just because there's a lot of beautiful women there. Hawaii is full of beautiful women, and there are beautiful women all over the world. I'm not saying like Hawaii is like better than any other place. There's beautiful women everywhere, but Hawaii for sure has beautiful, beautiful women. And right now, the standard that is being pushed forth in the culture, especially in Black culture, is the fetishization of Latin women, Asian women, multiracial women, racially ambiguous women, and a lot of the women in Hawaii would fit that book to a T. A lot of them are either Asian, or they're biracial, or they're from a different country, they're foreign or something of that nature. So this has created a standard that you have to measure up to depending on the type of guy you date. Now, I wear my natural hair. I'm not small. I'm 220 pounds. I'm a thick girl. I think I'm a BBW, but I don't know. I get mixed messages from men. I don't know where I'm, like in the middle. Think I got a few extra pounds, or maybe I'm curvy. I don't know. What you need to know about me is I'm not a small girl. Like, I'm not a pencil girl. So I was not one of these women walking around in bikinis all day. I was not walking around in bikinis. I was not walking around, with my booty shorts and stuff on. Like, I can't even really find shorts to fit my booty that comfortably. Because I can find shorts that fit my booty, but will they ride up the crack of my ass? That's a whole nother conversation. So I didn't do any of that, but I never had any problem finding men to date. I never had any problem. Also, I will acknowledge that the men I date is different. Because I'm a natural woman, Black women, we know that the type of hair you have does affect the kind of men you attract. So if you're one of these Black girls who, like to carry themselves high maintenance, but you happen to be overweight, but you're still a high maintenance girl, you may run into, some areas in that. It is what it is. It's just like everywhere else. There are beautiful women everywhere else. It's just that in Hawaii, women are wearing less clothes, so their beauty is more on display there, and there is a vast amount of them, and there are a vast amount of the same type of women, same type of body style, fair skin, colored eyes, long hair, real petite frame. Like, that is what it is there. So you have to make sure it's not working. It's on my nerves. It's really on my nerves. It's really on my nerves.
A few moments later. One hour later. One eternity later.
And we're back. So sorry about those technical difficulties. I was having some problems. My camera fell, my light messed up. It just is a mess. But we're here, we're back, and we're good to go. So, like I was saying, my number four con was that there is a high maintenance type of a vibe in Hawaii, just because of who the women are. So if you are living on the mainland and you're currently insecure about your body, you currently don't feel comfortable in your clothes, or you don't think that you look sexy in the bikini, I would definitely work those issues out before you come to the island, because it's just going to exasperate that. Being surrounded by really petite, really thin, really in shape women all the time, everywhere you go, will start to wear on your mental. And I definitely don't want any woman to go there and start to feel worse about herself, start to feel like even more like she needs to change how she looks, or change how she does her hair, or bleach her skin, or any of that. So really make sure that you're confident in who you are as a woman before you go over there to the islands. Now, with me saying that, I am, like I stated earlier, I'm 220 pounds. I have not personally experienced men not being attracted to me because of my weight. I'm not a petite girl. I'm not obese by any measure. I'm not like 300 pounds or anything like that, but I'm definitely, I'm definitely a thicker chick. And I didn't have any hard times finding attractive, wealthy men who found me interested. And like I said earlier, I preferenced that with saying that attractability does play into this. I, have really large eyes and a really pretty smile and G-size breasts. So, I have some things that men find very attractive. So I understand that also plays a role in how men treat me. So that is an unfortunate thing about being in Hawaii. But like I said, before you go to the islands, before you do anything anyways, you need to always make sure you're doing it with confidence. You need to make sure that you believe that you are beautiful, that you are worthy, and you need to make sure that your self-esteem is high and that your self-worth and your self-value is high. Because when you have those things in place, men who agree with you, men who believe in your worth will come to you. What you believe about yourself is what you will attract to yourself. So if you believe that you're the most beautiful woman in the world, you will attract men who will agree with that. If you think that, you could stand to lose some weight and, you don't look all that great in the bikini, you will attract men who share those same opinions of you. I'm a firm believer that you are your center of your own universe. You are the master of your destiny. So change the way you think, change your life. Moving on to number 5, not 10, but 5. 5. Number 5 is long-lasting relationships. Granted, like I said earlier, there's lots of people from all over the world that are coming to Hawaii. I had a fantastic experience with every last one of them, and I made some wonderful, long-lasting friendships. And even though the ones that I had that were romantic didn't translate into a relationship, they still are really great friends of mine. They still write me. They still check up on me. A lot of the friends I made in Hawaii still contact me. They can't wait to see me. They can't wait till I come visit. They want to know how I'm doing and what's going on. And I'm saying friends from the island who are locals, but also, friends from Japan and Korea and Germany and the UK and Australia and Canada. Like, I made friends from all over the world, and each and every one of them were so fantastic and so generous, and I cannot wait to see all of them again. I'm going to probably do another video and just tell you like some of the crazy stories and experiences that I had just hanging out and having a good time in Hawaii. So stay tuned for that video. And the 5th con is long distance relationships. Yes, I have all these terrific relationships with all these people. I had terrific relationships with, the locals back when I was on the island. But one of the cons is that if you are whether you're going to live on Hawaii long term or if you're going to live there and then eventually move, either way, you're always going to have a long distance relationship with the people that you met and fell in love with in Hawaii. I miss a lot of my friends. I miss a lot of the guys that I met when I was there, and I want to see them all the time. They're always, posting that they're doing something. They're out, they're, at a bar doing karaoke. They're, jumping off a waterfall over here. They're doing pill hike over there, and just watching them, you know, living and enjoying, you know, being in Hawaii, it just makes me miss the island so much, and it makes me miss them so much. And so a lot of my friendships that I have now become long distance relationships, and it's really difficult. So yeah, that's about it. Like I stated earlier, if you did meet somebody and they were, you know, only there for a weekend or for a month or, you know, for a year, you would, you know, have to look at dating them long distance. I had some friends who actually ended up leaving America and going to Germany to be with the girl that he was dating at the time. So, you know, you have other options besides long distance relationships, but, you know, long distance relationships are definitely something that you are going to have to get used to when you live in Hawaii. And that's not just romantically, but that's just friendships in general. So yeah, that's it. Those are my 5 pros, 5 cons. Let me know what you guys think of this video in the comments below. I have been planning on doing this video for a while because of one of my other Hawaii videos. Somebody did ask me about dating in Hawaii, so I'm glad I got to do this for you guys. If you haven't already done it, go ahead and spank that subscribe button and go ahead and tap that like. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. All right, well, there's that.